Everybody. So last month, Israel became the first country, the first sovereign state ever to recognize the independent nation of Somaliland. Now, Somaliland is a pro-Western democracy. It's been around for about 30 plus years. It seceded from Somalia after a civil war. And it became, like I said, pro-Western, democratic. They've had numerous peaceful transfers of power over the years. They have democratic institutions. And Israel became the first country to recognize Somaliland. They had massive celebrations in the streets. And immediately, and this is what I want to talk about in this video, immediately the Muslim countries in the world, the big Muslim countries in the world, like Saudi Arabia, Qatar, it's not big, but very powerful, Turkey, all condemned Israel for recognizing Somaliland, and they talked about it like this massive diplomatic crisis. And you might ask yourself, why do they care so much if Israel goes ahead and recognizes this rinky-dink little country, this little Muslim country down near the Horn of Africa? And it actually has very important strategic implications. I made a video about this for Israel 365 on that channel there, and you can go take a look at that video there. But what I wanted to share with you is a big reason why I think these Muslim nations are so upset about Israel's recognition of Somaliland that became clear to me watching an interview from just the other day of a senior advisor to the leadership of Somaliland who is visiting in Israel this week, and he was interviewed on Israeli cable TV. Have a look at this interview.
So from my understanding, you're one of the president's closest advisors. Can you tell us a little bit about how you see this relationship between Israel and Somaliland? איך אתה רואה את מערכת היחסים בין ישראל וסומלילנד? אני אתרגם בשבילכם.
I worked with several presidents before, and I held different roles. The relationship between Israel and Somaliland, especially from the Somaliland side, it's very crucial. It has been waited for 35 years. The people of Somaliland see this as the best thing that could have happened in the last 35 years. We also see Israel as a strong, powerful friend to have in the region. And I'm pretty sure you would have seen the excitement from the people of Somaliland when His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu, announced the recognition of Somaliland in conversation with, live conversation with my President, President Abdullahi Ero.
Mm-hmm. And from my understanding, there's a lot of Israelis that are now seeing the economic potential in Somaliland, and a lot of businessmen in Somaliland who see the potential in Israel. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You're absolutely right. I not only come from the government side, but I also come from the business side. So my focus is more on the business side, and one of the reasons why I'm here is to build that relationship on the business side. In terms of the business people in Somaliland, there are a lot of natural resources such as mining, energy, telecommunication, anything that's technical, fisheries, livestock, in which we believe there's an interest from Somaliland side to partner with business people from Israel, and from Israel side to partner with people in Somaliland. There are also government to government important deals that can be done in oil and gas as well, which is very important, and we think would make both countries in a win-win situation.
Yeah, I'm curious to ask you, in your eyes, what needs to happen in order for more Muslim countries to create these connections and peace with Israel?
I think the conversation and the deal between, or the recognition between Somaliland and Israel would be a great example. Here comes a country that has not been internationally recognized for 35 years, although I must confirm that in 1960, Israel was the first country to recognize Somaliland after the British left. So it's not the first time that actually Israel came to recognize Somaliland. This is the second time. So it's a great example that in terms of especially specifically for the Muslim countries and Sunni countries, that they can see the two relationship, the interest between the two countries does not have to be all about religion. Israelis, a majority of them are Jewish. Somalilanders almost exclusively are Muslim Sunnis, but we still have that. We can have that love for each other. We can see what each other's interests are. So when people see a win-win situation, when people see what Israel can do in terms of Somaliland, in terms of the defense, in terms of the security, in terms of the economic development, I am pretty sure that a lot of other Muslim countries will see that as an opportunity.
Amazing. Ibrahim Yusuf, Senior Advisor to the President of Somaliland. Thank you so much for this interview and enjoy your visit to Israel. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you very much. My visit to Israel has been a great visit. We have seen a lot of love from the Israeli people, and I would like to thank the Israeli people for welcoming us. And I would like to say thank you to the Prime Minister, the Cabinet, and also the Knesset as well. Thank you.
So Somaliland is located at the Horn of Africa. It's right across from the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which is the entry point into the Red Sea. It's right across from Yemen, where the Houthis are. And the Houthis were shelling international shipping from October 7th until the ceasefire just a few months ago. And of course, that's why the United States was attacking the Houthis. They were disrupting international shipping because about a third of all international shipping comes from the Far East. It comes from the Indian Ocean across up the Bab el-Mandeb Strait into the Red Sea, up the Suez Canal, and then on to Europe. Okay, so the Houthis were disrupting this. Somaliland sits across from there. Not a powerful country, but like I said, a pro-Western, free, democratic country. Now, Israel does have peace deals with some other Arab countries. It has a peace deal with Egypt ever since 1979. It has a peace deal with Jordan. It has, of course, the Abraham Accords countries. But those countries, those peace deals, are different than the recognition of Somaliland, and I'll explain why. With Egypt, although there's a peace deal, it's much more of an extended ceasefire. Egypt still votes against Israel in the UN. They're still a hostile nation. They helped arm Hamas. The population hates Israel. There's not a lot of economic engagement going across, even though we do have this kind of peace in the sense that there's no open hostility. Jordan is similar, although it's even more peaceful. But again, the Jordanian population is very anti-Israel, and there's not a lot of business cooperation going back and forth because they're so hostile. With the Abraham Accords countries, those are wealthy nations. They don't need Israel to build them up economically. The United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, they don't need the Israelis to build them up. So it's very much a kind of business-to-business, government-to-government relationship. They share some enemies in the region, but it's not a very integrated peace. Somaliland is different. Okay, listen carefully. The Somaliland people were celebrating in the streets. And you saw some of the footage in that video. They were celebrating in the streets when Israel recognized them. There is this sense of redemption, that there's a nation, this powerful nation, Israel, that recognized their independence. And now what we're hearing about is there's going to be all this economic investment. So besides the strategic defense importance of having a foothold down there at the Horn of Africa, and Israel is getting involved with the defense of Somaliland, besides that, listen to what he was saying. He's here to explore and develop. He's here in Israel right now to explore and develop business relationships. What does this mean about the economy of Somaliland and of Israel? Well, Israel has tremendous economic power. It also has tremendous innovation and technological power. And if Somaliland now becomes a partner nation with its workforce suddenly being utilized by Israeli industry, and there's all kinds of technological sharing and all kinds of investment coming from Israel into Somaliland, you could see Somaliland become a more prosperous country. The last thing in the world that these despotic dictatorships, which is what all these Arab countries are, even the ones that are pro-Western, like Saudi Arabia and Turkey, who are supposedly pro-Western, all these Arab countries are dictatorships. There's no human rights in these places. And there's certainly no economic prosperity for the citizens. There's like a lot of economic prosperity for the rich rulers, the kings and sheikhs who sit at the top. The last thing any of these guys want in the Middle East is a thriving, prosperous, free market economy that is growing, becomes a prosperous nation right next door to Somalia, which is a jihadist Islamic hellhole where where there's poverty everywhere, and all around Somalia you have these impoverished African nations. If Somaliland becomes this island of economic prosperity and security in that region, that could spread to other populations. That could undermine the anti-democratic Islamic ethos that governs all of these other countries in the region. It's a major threat to all of them. So this dinky little country in the Horn of Africa, by being recognized by Israel, and now all this investment that is going to happen there, is a major threat to the undemocratic Arab world. So this is a fascinating story. And again, if you haven't seen my video on Somaliland, on the importance of the Somaliland recognition, on the Israel 365 YouTube channel, go there and find it. It's from about a month ago. You'll find it pretty easily. If you search most popular videos, it's probably in the top 10 there. I think it had a lot of views. So take a look at that video there and make sure to check out all the content we're doing on that channel as well.